Okay, so as promised, we're out on the bike. Sunshine is glorious, although it's already starting to fade. So my name's Andy, as I said, I'm the Wiltshire Wanderer, and I use my bike every day to and from work, but I also use it for pleasure. Love going around Wiltshire, riding in the Cotswolds. I'm very lucky that I'm close to the Cotswolds, Somerset Plains, Salisbury, so I've got lots of riding roads available, some pretty decent ones as well. So I live in Wiltshire, in Corsham, very picturesque little village. Just going out for a little introductory ride today. I ride a Varadero, as you can hear. It's my everyday bike. Going to start off, as I said in my introduction, where looking at budgets, riding one bike every day on a budget, keeping it running, keeping it maintained. Also, when you have to work on it, getting it ready for work the next day or the Monday when you work on it over the weekend. So quite a chilly today, nice November day, but unusually warm for this time of year, I suppose. Put that down to global warming maybe, who knows. So today I'm just off, going to show you the top of the Wiltshire Moors, I suppose you call it. So I've recently had to upgrade some of my gear. I've been riding a very long time. Had a break due to family and children, then got back into riding again. And my last lot of gears lasted probably about 6 years. I've had this bike for 6 years. It's now got 51,000 miles on it. And in that time I've maintained it all myself, sometimes with the help of one of my friends who's a mechanic. He's got a ramp and a bike ramp, so when it gets down to the technical stuff, he gives me a hand, sometimes does it, and I watch him so that I can learn ready for next time. Maybe we'll pull over. Sorry, got distracted. There's loads of red kites around this area, and I'm just passing a field and it's full of red kites and pheasants, so try not to get distracted off the road. So yeah, I've just recently upgraded all my gear. Well, I say recently, a year ago I bought this Revit jacket. It's laminated Gore-Tex, really impressed with it. The waterproofing is superb. Obviously, riding around in England, in the UK, in the countryside, you get heavy downpours, and it's never let me down on the waterproofing. But the thing that impressed me the most about this jacket is the fact that it dries out so quickly, especially when you're riding. As soon as it stops raining, if you've got a slight breeze or a bit of wind, then this jacket really dries out superbly quick. And it doesn't weigh too much when it's wet either, so that's really impressed me. But maybe that's a review for another day, but that's one of the things I got. One of the other things I got was some new Forma boots. I had Forma boots before. Don't know if you can actually see them on the camera, I'll show you later. I had a black pair and I've mixed it up a bit now, I've gone for a brown pair. I did go with the idea of a Gore-Tex pair of boots, but these are Hydrotech, and to say I had my last pair for 6 years. The only reason I got rid of them is because the insides went, and every time I took my foot out the boot, the inside of the boot came out, so they lasted me that long, they stayed waterproof, so I just got another pair. And then again, about that, boots are brand new, I've had them about 3 weeks, so I'm just breaking them in. Then I got this showy helmet. This is a flip up lid, and fantastic helmet. It's one of the only helmets I've had that I don't need to use earplugs. I still do on long journeys, just because of sometimes the wind, the crosswind you get, but 9 times out of 10 I very rarely have to use earplugs on with this helmet. And I love the flip up option for when you're going into shops or petrol stations, stuff like that. It saves you, taking your whole helmet off and getting comfortable again, especially when you use cameras and headsets and stuff. Saves you messing about. So bought this helmet, as I say, well, nearly 2 years ago now. It's really comfortable, and again, could be a review for another day. Bought some new leather trousers. I tend to buy leather trousers because I don't really like the textured ones. I find the leather ones tend to be more comfortable. They're cooler in the summer because they're normally got a cotton lining, and as they get older they get more comfortable, more supple. I make sure I clean them regularly. These are meant to be waterproof, and I again have ridden with them in some downpours without putting any over trousers on, and they seem to do the trick. Although being leather, I tend to wear over trousers. I've got some Gore-Tex Army unlined over trousers I put on, because leather doesn't like getting wet, even if it is waterproof. And then the last thing I bought was these richer gloves. These are Gore-Tex gloves. They're not as warm as I was hoping. They weren't really advertised as winter gloves, they were advertised as touring gloves. Got them on eBay. I get most of my stuff on eBay. That's not a promotion for eBay, it's just where I buy my things. And I'll never promote anything that I don't use. If I use something and I find it good, I'll give a good review. If I don't find it so good, I'll give it an honest review. But yeah, these gloves are alright. I'm not sure about the no finger protection. There's nothing for the fingers, but hopefully I'll never find out. As I say, they're not as warm as I was expecting, but on my bike I've got heated grips, and I've also got these hand guards here, and these are brilliant at deflecting the wind. It's very rare I get cold hands, to be honest. It has to be quite icy and cold wind before I actually start feeling it. So I'm heading towards Bath. This is kind of my work route, if you like. I work in Bath, and I take this route every day. I'll probably do a morning video. And like I said, I ride every day. My route to work is around 12-13 miles there and 13 miles back. If it's a nice day, I do a longer ride. I've got some lovely areas I can ride through. I'm about to show you one. And I can do up to a 20, 25, maybe 30 mile ride on the way home sometimes. That was in the days before it starts getting dark so early. So now I tend to just get straight home. As for my bike, as I say, I ride an XL1000 Varadero. It's a 2005 model. It's the VA model, which has got ABS, fuel injection and linked brakes, and that's about it on the old technology side. And to be honest, that's about as much as I want. It's very reliable. The only time it's ever let me down is when the clutch cable snapped last year and I had to park it up, go back the next day, and the RAC man came out and fixed me up a temporary cable. And then I went out and bought a Teflon line one, so hopefully that'll be good for a few years. I've had this bike around 6 years. Excuse me. Lovely greenery through here. Fantastic countryside. Lovely views. Yeah, I've had this bike about 6 years. I've done numerous things to it. Again, I'll run through them in later videos as well. And it's been a very reliable bike. For a daily commuter, it could be classed as a bit big. Negative side of it is that it's very heavy, but then most big bikes are. I think this one's somewhere around the region of £490, somewhere around there. As with big bikes, you don't really feel it until it's time to park up or lug it around your driveway. Watch out for the old cyclist. So yeah, that's really the only negative side I have of this bike. I've got full panniers for it, but I only use them if myself and the better half go away for a weekend on the bike, which is quite often. Otherwise I do use a top box. I hate carrying things in my pockets and I hate having a bag on my back. So I do tend to have a top box, even though it doesn't look that great. It's really, really practical, and I am a man of practicality, unfortunately. Style doesn't really come my way. So I bought this bike with 19,000 miles on it, and as I say, I've got 51,400 miles on it now, so averaging out, it's not really that much considering I've used it every day. I've been all over the country with it. I've yet to go up to Scotland on it or abroad on it. My main concern with it now is that it's getting old, 16 years old. Trying to find parts for it sometimes can be difficult, and a lot of internet surfing, websites, auction sites, owner sites, but it's not too bad. So as you can see from the sign, we're sort of heading towards Bath. So this is a little route I do sometimes on the way home from work, coming from the opposite direction obviously, and I go this way home sometimes. If I've had a busy day, I need to clear my head, this is the way to do it. I was watching a YouTube video the other day of the Mizzleham Flyer, and it made me laugh because on the video he was saying that the smell of weed was more frequent when he was out riding from drivers in front. And it made me laugh because I ride to work every morning, and the two main things I can smell on the way to work in the morning is weed and hair shampoo. And never really thought about it until he said, I have said to my other half now and again that the person in front of me really stank of weed. Whether it's a vape with that smell or not, I don't know. Just looking up there again, I don't know if you see it on the camera, but there is a beautiful red kite up there. So coming through this area now. Unfortunately, these 20-mile-an-hour limits seem to be everywhere. So you do have to watch yourself, and reading the relevant newspapers and watching videos that are on about bringing in speed cameras for 20-mile-an-hour limits, but I don't know when that's going to start. So we shall wait and see. Lovely bit of road. Also the change of colours in the leaves is fantastic now. Unfortunately they're dropping really quickly, and now the weather's getting that bit colder, but still lovely to ride through. Vineyard down there, or vineyard, whichever way you want to say it. So yeah, as I was saying, the leaves look lovely. Some beautiful houses up here, some lovely views. And yeah, this is a route I come home quite regularly. Adds another 15 minutes maybe to my journey home, but when the weather's reasonable and not pouring down with rain, it's a beautiful view. We'll stop in a minute and see if we can find somewhere to show you. Lovely corners on here, and this road's just been relaid, re-tarmac, so it's quite a nice smooth road. See if we can get past this car in a minute. Some fantastic views over there. Just going to pull over, let that car go. So here we are. What a fantastic bit of scenery. So this is an area called Box. It's just outside of Bath Eastern Box. You got Corsham and Laycock over there. Laycock is for Harry Potter fans, where Harry Potter was filmed, or parts of it where he was walking through the corridors. So yeah, back to the bike. This is my Steed. Blue's my favourite colour, although looking at it, it's rather dirty. Just going to take the camera off. So, as I say, 16-year-old bike. Very dirty at the moment, the good old Wiltshire roads, as you can see. Done lots to it. Put wave discs on it, crash bars. Don't really like crash bars, but I found the bike leaning in a hedge one day. Somebody obviously nudged it whilst reversing, and unfortunately these fairings aren't available anymore, so it prompted me to put on some crash bars, because obviously should protect the fairing. Bike runs lovely. It's a lumpy V twin. It does vibrate, but it only vibrates in a kind of, how can I put it, washing machine way. It doesn't vibrate and tingle and make your fingers go numb. It's a nice agricultural feel to it, which is what I like. I started riding bikes in the late 80s or mid 80s. Mid 80s to now. As I said, I had a break in the middle. And I tend to like the heavier, more cumbersome bikes. I suppose I've had a few touring racing bikes, which were nice, but the seating position on this one is perfect for me. And with today's road conditions and mobile phone distractions, I can see a lot more on this and feel safer. So anyway, beautiful view, as I say. This is Box, Bath, Eastland and Wiltshire. This is the main road into Bath down there. And over there, don't know if you can see it on the camera, but that is Brunel's famous tunnel, railway tunnel. Isambard Kingdom Brunel. It's a good part of history there. So we're going to get back on and we're going to go ride.